Good morning. Today we will start a new chapter, moving charges and magnetism. Actually, electricity and magnetism have been known for more than 2000 years. But it was only in 1820 that we realized that there is an intense relation between electricity and magnetism. A Dutch physicist, Hans Christian Ørsted, accidentally found that a current carrying conductor can cause a deflection in the magnetic compass needle. Later in 1864, the laws obeyed by electricity and magnetism was formulated by James Clerk Maxwell. He also realized that light is an electromagnetic wave. Again, there happened a lot of experiments and Heinrich Hertz discovered radio waves. This was again produced by Marconi and Indian scientist Jagadish Chandra Bose. Later, we witnessed a remarkable progress in the field of science and technology in 20th century because of our better understanding of electromagnetic waves. So in this chapter, we shall start with the accidental discovery of Hans Christian Ørsted. Magnetic effects of current. So as the name indicates, current has some magnetic effects. In this chapter, we will deal with these effects of magnetism, or we will deal with the magnetic effects of current in detail. So in 1820, Christian Ørsted accidentally noticed that a magnetic needle placed close to a conductor deflects when a current is passing through the conductor. So when a current passes through the conductor, the needle deflects to some direction, and he was interested in this phenomena, so he just reversed the direction of current. So when he reversed the direction of current, the deflection of this needle also reversed. So this was the first finding of the relation between current and the magnetic field, or the magnetic effect of the current. Because a magnetic needle can be influenced if there is some magnetic field close to it. So when a current is passing through this conductor, there is a deflection in the needle, means there is some magnetic field associated with this conductor when current is passed through it. So this experiment showed that there is a magnetic field associated with the current carrying conductor, but he was not able to explain the physics behind this phenomena. Then later, two other scientists came with an explanation for this phenomena. They were Jean-Baptiste Biot and Felix Savart. So both Jean-Baptiste Biot and Felix Savart came out with an explanation, and they also gave an equation for this phenomena. And they arrived at an equation between the current carrying conductor and the magnetic field after performing a large number of experiments. And they formulated a law which is called Biot-Savart law. So the findings of their experiment is summarized as a law which is called Biot-Savart law. So what is this Biot-Savart law? So we consider a conductor, a current carrying conductor, and let us consider a point away from this conductor. So we have a current carrying conductor here. Then we are taking a very small part of this conductor, say of length dl. Then we are going to find the magnetic field due to the small segment of conductor at a distance r. Let O be the point where we want to find the magnetic field. R is the distance to the point O, and this distance makes an angle theta with the current element IDL. So IDL is called the current element, DL is the length of the wire for which we are finding the magnetic field. So the magnetic field at the point O due to the small segment of conductor DL will be dB, where dB represents the small magnetic field due to the small length of wire DL. And they found that this dB or this magnetic field due to the small segment of wire DL is directly proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. Secondly, it is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. Then this magnetic field is directly proportional to sine of the angle between the current element and the position vector of the point O. Then this dB is inversely proportional to square of the distance between the point O and the current element. So combining all these, we can write dB is proportional to I dl sin theta by r square. So dB is directly proportional to I dl sin theta by r square. So in physics we know if we have a proportionality relation, we can convert this proportionality into equality by multiplying with a constant. That is, dB is equal to a constant. That is, that constant is mu 0 by 4 pi. So dB is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi into I dl sin theta by r square. So this is the mathematical expression for the magnetic field due to the current element dl when a current I pass through it at a distance r from the length dl. Here mu 0 is called the permeability of free space, and the value or the magnitude of mu 0 is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Newton per ampere square. Then we may find the vector form of Biot-Savart law, because the field is a vector. So from the previous chapters or from the study of from the chapter electrostatics, we have seen that electric field is a vector. So similar to electric field, the magnetic field B is also a vector. So we may just find the vector form of this Biot-Savart law. So dB is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi into I dl sin theta by r square is the equation, and here this dB or the magnetic field is a vector. So on the LHS we are putting a vector sign, and on the RHS on the right hand side we are giving a unit vector r. R is a unit vector, and dl is a small length of wire. So a small length of wire can be taken as a vector. So dl and r are vectors, where r is the unit vector along the direction PO. Now this mu 0 by 4 pi into I dl sin theta unit vector r divided by r square. In this equation, this dl r sin theta or dl sin theta r is of the form ab sin theta. So we may rewrite this dl sin theta r in the form of a cross b, because ab sin theta is equal to a cross b. Therefore db is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi I into dl cross r divided by r square. Here dl is a vector and r is a unit vector. But we know that unit vector r is equal to vector r by r. Therefore db, so db is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi into I dl cross r divided by r cube. So here we are replacing this unit vector r with the vector r by r. So this is replaced by, this unit vector is replaced by vector r, and this r in the denominator will go to the denominator in this equation. Therefore r square into r will become r cube. So finally we have the equation db is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi I into dl cross r by r cube, and this is the vector form of Biot-Savart law. Since this magnetic field is a vector, the direction of B is also important, or the direction of dB is also important, and the direction of magnetic field can be found using Maxwell's right hand screw rule, or simply Maxwell's screw rule. So what is Maxwell's screw rule? If a right hand screw advances in the direction of current, then the direction of rotation of the screw gives the direction of the magnetic field. So suppose we have a right hand screw and we are rotating it. So when we rotate this right hand screw, we know the screw will advance into a wall, say, or it will advance into a wood, a piece of wood. So when we rotate this screw, the screw will advance into a wood or into a surface. So the direction of rotation is the direction of the magnetic field, and the direction of this screw is the direction of the current, or the direction in which the screw is advancing will give the direction of the current. So if a right hand screw advances in the direction of current, so of course a right hand screw will advance only if it is rotated. So right hand screw advances in the direction of current, then the direction of the screw gives the direction of the magnetic field. So this is how we are rotating the screw, and when we rotate the screw will move in the upward direction. So this upward direction is the direction of the current, and the direction of the rotation of the screw is the direction of the magnetic field. So this is how we are finding the direction of magnetic field using Maxwell's right hand screw rule. So this is the direction of the current which is upward. So when we rotate this screw this way, the screw is moving upward, and this upward direction is actually the direction of the current. So this means that if you have a current carrying conductor such that the current is in the upward direction, then this is how the magnetic field is present around the current carrying conductor. So we can assume large number of such closed loops. Actually all these are closed loops. So we can assume large number of such closed loops around this current carrying conductor. Then similarly, if the rotation of the screw is in the opposite way, then the direction of the current will also be reversed. So if this is how the screw is rotating, then the direction of the current will be downwards. So with this right hand screw rule, we can simplify the direction of the magnetic fields. So this means that if we have a current carrying conductor such that the direction of the current is downwards, then this is how the magnetic field is present, or we can see that the direction of the magnetic field has just reversed. Now we may compare the difference between Coulomb's law and Biot-Savart law. We have seen Coulomb's law in electrostatics. Coulomb's law is a very important law in the chapter electrostatics. Similarly, this Biot-Savart law is an equally important law in the chapter magnetic effect of current. So the difference between Coulomb's law and Biot-Savart law is equal to the difference between electric field and magnetic field. So here we can see the difference between Coulomb's law and Biot-Savart law is listed as the difference between electric field and magnetic field, because this electric field, this Coulomb's law is the result of electric field, or it is because of this electric field we have Coulomb's law. Similarly, Biot-Savart law is the result of magnetic field. Electric field is Coulomb's law is the result of electric field. Biot-Savart law is the result of magnetic field. Then we have some 3 points here, and the first point on the side of electric field is produced by a scalar source, that is an electric charge Q. So we have already seen that if there is a positive charge Q like this, then there will be electric field lines moving away from this charge Q. So this electric field is produced by a charge Q, which is a scalar quantity. So electric field is due to a scalar source. On the other side, magnetic field is produced by a vector source, that is, it is produced by a current element IDL, where this DL we are taking as a vector. Small length of wire can be taken as a vector, so this DL we are taking as a vector, and it is because of this DL that there is a magnetic field at a point, say R, as we have seen in the Biot-Savart law. Then the second point is, it is directed along the position vector joining the source and the point at which the field is calculated. So in the previous chapter we have a situation like this. We have a point charge is a Q, and we want to find the magnetic field at the point P. So R is the position vector to the point P. So the direction of electric field is along the position vector. That means the direction of electric field is along the direction of R, along the direction of vector R. On the other hand, in the case of magnetic field, it is directed perpendicular to the position vector R and the current element DL. I is the current flowing through the conductor, DL is the small length of the wire, and P is the point where we are finding the magnetic field. So here DL is a vector, this R, position vector R, is also a vector. So the magnetic field is perpendicular to position vector and the current element DL. That means what? That means at the point P, the magnetic field is either into the paper or out of the paper. So at the point P, the magnetic field is into the paper or it is out of the paper. So that is the meaning of it is directed perpendicular to the position vector R and the current element I DL. So right now we cannot draw it because it is perpendicular to this plane. It is perpendicular to this plane at the point P. Perpendicular to the plane means it can be into the paper that is the field is into the paper or it can be out of the paper. That is the meaning of B perpendicular to DL and R. Then the third point on the side of electric field is it does not depend on angle. The electric field does not depend on the angle. So again, in the equation E is equal to in the equation K into Q by R square, it should be Q by R square, right? E is electric field E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R square. There is no second charge here. So in this equation there is no angle given, or there is no sine or cosine factor in the equation of E. The equation of E is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R square. So this Q2 should not be there. So it should be Q by R square. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R square is the equation for electric field. And in that equation there is no term containing angle. There is no term containing sine or cosine or any angle. But on the other hand, for magnetic field, it depends on the angle between the position vector R and the current element IDL. That we have just seen. That is dB is equal to K into IDL sin theta by R square. So this is the difference between Coulomb's law and Biot-Savart law. Thank you. So with this we are winding up here. Thank you for watching.